And welcome back to the Nose Plays. Today we're going to have just a brief news update, new video, just to let people know what's going on in the world of Northgard. So I found out today that Northgard released a major update to the game, today being Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. The update is called Crowns and Daggers. It's a free major update to anybody who owns the game. You don't have to purchase anything to get this content, and it's pretty awesome. It is a big upgrade to a part of the game that has been seriously lacking and somewhat under polished, but still, doable. But now it's going to be a lot more interesting, hopefully. There is a nice little brief trailer. I'm not going to watch that here, but I encourage you to go check it out. You'll get to see some of the images in the screenshots below, but there's actually some live footage of the new gameplay mechanics there. So check that out when you have a chance. But the big thing that they're upgrading and overhauling within the game is the diplomacy. And so diplomacy is going to have a serious change to the old way that diplomacy used to work. We've also included a new neutral faction. You can kind of see them right here. The dwarves were not part of the game previously. They are now a new faction. And I don't have a lot of information about the details, but I'm just going to let you guys take a look at this with me. So the relations system with neutral factions has been reworked. Each faction now presents 4 relations statuses, offering new rewards and risks depending on how you treat the faction. All new interactions with neutral factions and clans are reunited in a new diplomacy screen. So we're going to have a new screen that we can pull up. You can see that we can interact with neutrals on this tab. And here are examples of the 4 statuses that you can have with each neutral faction. I don't know how you adjust these or change these, but we'll figure that out once we get in game, and I'll probably do some live play of this, some first impressions of this new system at some point this week. Then there is a second tab for clans, and again, clans are going to have ways to interact with through diplomacy as well. There's new buildings, so there is what is called the Offering Well. It's a new building that is available to improve your relations with neutral factions. This is basically going to take the place of trading with them, maybe? So instead of doing trade routes with different factions, you use the Offering Well, or maybe it's a supplement to that. I'm not quite sure. The new neutral faction of the dwarves is going to be introduced. Obviously, dwarves are well known for their mining prowess. Will obviously have access to and supplies of many treasures and precious resources, but come too close and you might regret it. So they're very territorial, it sounds like. But if you can get their trust, they'll trade with you and maybe give you a lot of cool stuff. So probably within the realm of the game, you're looking at lots of stone, lots of iron, maybe some crowns, maybe a new resource like rubies or something crazy like that. I don't know. We'll find out once we get in the game. And then scouting and spying has been overhauled slightly. So now, once the game loads, you no longer see where different players are located. You can see that a player or a neutral faction has a tile because the border will be kind of white, and you won't get to see what color it is until you actually reveal the tile. So you actually have to go a little bit deeper into enemy territory to figure out who's where. That's also going to put a bigger emphasis on upgrading your scouting camps, because you won't be able to figure out who's who until you do. I guess that's not necessarily 100% true, because I guess they could expand out into a tile you've already uncovered, and I'm not sure if that would then reveal their color, but it should. Either way. And then you now have the ability to send scouts to enemy town halls, and once your scout has been there for a certain amount of time, they can look up, or they might get access to some random information. You might be able to check out where they're at with their lore tree, or what their resource stocks are, so you can see like how much wood they have for this upcoming blizzard. So interesting. Not not amazing value, but at least it's something that scouts can do in the later game, where a lot of times you just destroy your scout buildings because you don't need them anymore. So that's kind of neat. I always thought it would be helpful to have scouts, have to keep scouts around to keep track of military movements, so that military movements weren't just, obvious, like maybe, tiles that are immediately adjacent to you, you could see military traffic in, but if you wanted to see like their army inside of their territory, you would have to have scouts kind of posted around to keep track of them. I don't think that's going to be a change that they're making, but I've always thought that might be one way to do it. And then the other thing, just a little bit of flair that they've added to the game, is whenever you get notifications for clans, you'll actually see the chieftain's portrait. So whatever clan that is, you'll see the chieftain's portrait once you've identified a clan. The rivalry section is a new layer of diplomacy between factions. And this one I'm not sure how I feel about. But basically what you're going to do is, at some point in the game, you have the option of establishing one of the other clans as a rival. Once you choose a rival, you get to choose one of these 4 different, I don't know, what do they call them? Tactics? Rivalries? It doesn't really say. Based on the information you've gathered, you can now declare an enemy clan as your rival for a gain, but at a cost. So you can boost your population growth while also boosting theirs. You can steal some of their lore as long as they're ahead of you in lore. You can gain defense against them as long as they have less fame than you. But if they do win fights against you, I guess they get more fame for doing so. And then you can also set a bounty on them, basically, and that means that they have a penalty when they leave their territory, but they get a bonus as long as they stay inside their territory. So it makes them harder to get rid of, but they're less likely to be aggressive against you. So interesting, very, you could do some really interesting tactical stuff with this, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. We'll have to see once I get into the game and understand it a little bit better. And then emissary, you need to establish an emissary in order to do this. So this is a new building that you have to have a worker on. Oh, and this was another thing I didn't mention. Competitive events. This actually does sound kind of cool. So throughout the year, you'll occasionally get these competitive events that will pop up where everybody has the ability to interact with this event for a limited time, and then whichever clan has contributed most to this event at the end of a timer will get a reward. And I don't exactly know how the rewards are going to be set up, but it looks like, for example, in this case, whoever has the ability to trade the most wood gets a free lore or free knowledge. So that's cool. Also, don't know if that knowledge is going to contribute towards your lore victory. A lot of times these bonus ones don't contribute towards lore victories. Otherwise, lore victories get really easy to kind of cheese. So we'll see how that works out. There's also a bunch of achievements that have been fixed or added. I'm not going to look at them, but you can take your time and view this page yourself. And then a bunch of bug fixes that they've added. So there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool bug fixes. You should definitely check out all of this when you get a chance. But the thing that I did want to point out more than anything, and this is really important, if you don't have Northgard yet, now is a perfect time to jump in. The base game is only $12. This is only good for like the next 48 hours. So like today and tomorrow, and maybe like a little bit into the next day. But I think when I was looking at it earlier this evening, it was like at 39 hours remaining. So you got about 2 days left to get in on this sale if you want to purchase Northgard, or if you already have Northgard and you want to get some of the DLC that's been out for a while. There are a number of clan packs that you can purchase for under $3 a piece. I actually just picked up the last one that I hadn't collected yet. So Clan of the Squirrel. I'll have to give them a try at some point and see how they feel. But that being said, that's going to wrap it up for me tonight. I just wanted to make sure that all of my viewers who I know love Northgard as much as I do get an opportunity to jump in on this sale if they're interested, and also experience the new free DLC that this company continues to put into their game. It's very cool to see that they're continuing to develop it. Shiro Games has done a great job from early access all the way until its current state, and I'm really happy with the game. I've put a lot of hours into it, and I'm going to continue to play it. I have some friends who've recently joined me in some multiplayer, so if you're interested in seeing some of that on my channel, please let me know in the chat, and I'll see what I can do about providing it for you in the future. Until next time, this has been A Nose Plays, and you guys have a wonderful evening.